GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discussion is advice. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Star Trek, The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission, to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Naomi Wildman. I was setting it up. Oh. Welcome to the G&T show, where obviously we have no script.
Yeah, let's just get this puppy started.
As always, the beautiful, the lovely, the high-booted, short-skirted, big-breasted Terry Lynn.
That would be me. Admiral Shaw.
She's badass.
It's Ceridian.
Good morning. It's Sunday on the G&T show.
You know the worst part of this morning? It's not the getting up early. It's the fact they're making me wear clothes to do the show.
It's time for Coffee Clutch.
Strap on your helmets, boys and girls. It's gonna get rough.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those mornings.
Let me put on my seatbelt, my helmet with the little blinky light on top.
For safety.
When we decided we were going to do the G&T show,
Man.
one of the things we said was no standards. G&T show does not go on the air because we're ready. It goes on the air because it's 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Mike could have snapped by then and killed us both. Pain sticks for Mike, evidently.
We have our production meetings on the air.
Well, it's the best way to get you to adhere to things.
Yeah, you've now set an expectation. That's the thing about the G&T show is we set no expectations.
I need more coffee.
Wow,
I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to do general news or Star Trek news, and I figured
this is
out.
Terry
Okay.
having a series of small
It's news.
strokes, actually.
Well, it doesn't take long for this show to deteriorate, does it?
Straight the fuck downhill.
I don't always podcast, but when I do, I G&T.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the G&T Show, episode 131. I'm Terry Lynn.
Jolan True, we're back. We still have Terry, if you notice over there. By the way, what do you think of the renovations to the studio? I think the plastic bubble for Terry to be in was nicely constructed. It fits in with
That was Adrian, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Adrian. She, that's why there's glitter on the bubble itself. And speaking of
She
glitter,
works
Mike,
fast and very, very well.
Mike, speaking of glitter, what's the glitter all over your Klingon armor?
You don't want to know. Because I just can't think of a reason yet. It's just fabulous.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, and we are back after a week off for healing and general things like that. And Terry's been gone, 6 months now?
Oh,
She hasn't been
it
with the
feels
show?
like it. Yeah, it feels like it. I think I was gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah, because we had Generations Geek. Thank you to them. That was an insanely funny show to me. They are so much fun when they come on, and Audio Vixen just gets funnier and funnier as she gets older.
Well, I read a certain Facebook page that kind of clued me in as to the occurrences that happened while Generations Geek was on G&T show.
Are you talking about the man crush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. Well, by the way, what was his answer?
Mike, do you remember? I don't think he said. I think he avoided it.
I think he just kind of weaved his way in and out because it was an uncomfortable topic.
Yeah.
You made him squirm.
And then following that, Adrian and the lovely Black Magnum were nice enough to step in when Terry was ill, because the first week Terry was traveling.
Right.
And then
I was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and then they were nice enough to step in literally at the last moment. They contacted them the night before, and it starts. Contacted them the night before, and both said, well, Adrian said she would see how she was doing because, she doesn't sleep. And Magnum was like, just tell me what time. And
awesome
people. Exactly, Woody. We had grilled cheese sandwiches, and it was wonderful.
Yum.
And then
thank you, Adrian, and thank you, Black Magnum. I got back from Los Angeles, and unfortunately, I got the flu at that time.
You think you caught it on the plane?
No, I caught it from Ellen when I got home.
Oh, during the welcome home festivities.
Actually, no, the poor thing. It was a nightmare. On my way home, I left Los Angeles. It was 70 degrees. I got to LAX and my flight became delayed because there were 2 planes at gates that needed mechanical repairs. And my flight kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So 2.5 hours after I was supposed to take off, they finally fixed one of them. And what was wrong with it was the toilet. They needed to fix the toilet.
I can't get mad at that because I would want the toilet work.
I would want the toilet to work. So exactly. It was just, does it work? Yeah, great. So we get in and we take off 2.5 hours late. And the flight wasn't too bad. And anybody who knows when you fly into New Mexico, it doesn't matter how beautiful it's outside or how, dark or whatever it is outside. It's always a bumpy ride flying into New Mexico. It's always just a bumpy ride.
I honestly don't remember any bumps going in.
And
I landed in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Yeah. Well, it just so happens that here we are flying in, and just as we get past, I would say that halfway point between Gallup and Albuquerque, things start getting a little rough. And that's when I realize, I look outside and I'm thinking, I wasn't expecting that there to be any weather in New Mexico, because when I had left New Mexico, it was like 70 degrees. And all of a sudden I realize, I look outside and it's snowing. And as we get closer and closer and closer to the sunport, the landing gear come down, and I can't.
Sunport to the people.
I can't. Oh, the sunport. That's the name of our airport. We don't have an airport. We have a sunport. Don't ask me why. It's just what it is. And I couldn't see the ground. I couldn't see the landing strip. I couldn't see where the hell we were supposed to be landing. Well, I guess neither did the pilot, because we aborted the landing twice. And he gets on after the second attempt and says, there's just no way we can land right now in this weather. I can't see the runway.
Oh my gosh.
So off to El Paso we go. Now, meanwhile, Alan is going through the first phases of the flu, sitting in the truck, waiting in the cell phone lot for me. And all of a sudden, I land in El Paso and go, I'm in El Paso. And he's like, what? Because apparently after our plane left, the storm that cell moved through and planes were landing. So we landed in El Paso, got more gas, turned around, flew back. I didn't get home until I think 2:30 in the morning. Poor Alan was he was shivering. He had a fever of 102. That's how I got the flu. Poor thing.
You see, that story is probably far more common than we care to say. So, you know what? Never mind. I was going to go somewhere with it, but I'm not going to. Never mind. Let's just say, in the future, let's not automatically assume the man is to blame. Look what the men have to put up with. That's all I'm going to say.
He was a god. He really was a trooper for hanging out of it. Poor thing. Had to sit in that god blessed cell phone lot for hours while I schlepped back from El Paso. And of course, it's 20 degrees outside, snowing like crazy. It was a blizzard. And I just felt so sorry for him.
Yes, we have.
So I took care of him the next day. Right. I took care of him the next day. And then so that was Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, I started feeling sick. And that's when, for some reason, it just hit me harder than it did him. He went to work. I think he ended up being at work on Friday. But
now, how long were you in Los Angeles?
3 nights. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday night.
All right. I'm just going to throw this out there because, I love Alan. You guys have like 17 cars. Couldn't you have just taken one and parked it in the lot so he didn't have to put up with all that?
Yeah, but
I mean, I know this is Johnny.
He wanted to drive. But that's not. That's love. That is love. That's right.
He wanted to see you. He wanted to make sure you got off so that he could tell his girlfriend, "Yeah, she's gone."
He wasn't sick when she left, though, right?
That's true. Very true.
That's true. It came on. Yeah. No. Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, but you guys also live so close. I mean. Yeah. It's so funny. The first time I went out there, they were like, okay, it's like this far away, blah, 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 blah. And with traffic, people, let me tell you, Albuquerque rush hour.
Yeah, there is.
Compared to what I'm used to here in the DC metro area.
Right. I laugh too. I do. There is no such thing. Traffic in Albuquerque lasts 5 minutes.
Literally, I'm not even joking. Traffic at 2 or 3 in the morning in this area is heavier than their rush hour.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's why I want to move out there.
We only have 2 freeways in the entire state.
Great, and you know what? That is a great freeway you guys have going through there. And the speed limit's what, 90?
75 between where we live in Santa Fe is the 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's not like the Audubon in Montana, but it's nice.
Well, yes. Now, Mike, you out where you are, that's pretty open roads, isn't it?
I live off of Highway 99, which we are in the middle of getting a third lane from Sacramento to
Really?
San Bernardino, Bakersfield. Excuse me, Bakersfield. So traffic is horrendous because of construction.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And the 99 is the main thoroughfare for Central California through the Central Valley.
Through the valley, yeah. I-5, which is on the
the
closer to
side.
the coast. That obviously that's been the heart of it for a while, and 99 is kind of like a shortcut.
Well, I'm an East Coast boy. I've never lived west of the Mississippi, Korea, but that doesn't really count.
That doesn't really count.
I'm trying to think. When I was out in California doing some stuff for the Army, and I went from San Francisco down to little itty bitty King City, the nicest truck stop in the world. I'm trying to remember the highway that I took down there, because I kept laughing that, oh my God, I'm driving on this road that, in countless sitcoms or whatever.
Oh, it was either the 5, the 101, or the 99.
It was the 101.
Yeah, 101 sounds about right. Along the coast, right on the coast, I should say.
Yeah, because fuck it, what's the name of the camp? Hunter Liggett is by San Jose.
Yeah, that'd be the 101.
Yeah, it'd be the 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 1,000 freeways and highways.
Well, Terry, we also had some snow here.
I heard. I've seen the pictures.
Jesus
oh my
Christ.
Goodness, you guys.
That's not a little snow.
But we had in the end, 2.5, 2 3/4 feet, which in the course of 2 days after the fall was basically gone because it went into the 60s and rained.
Right.
But now they're saying Wednesday more snow is coming.
I was going to say, and you guys are due for more snow, right?
Yes.
Oh, you poor things. I'm so sorry.
You know what? I can't say anything because
Nick?
Although I had my staples out for my surgery this week, which that was the first time I had staples. Anyway.
We need to ship some of that snow to California.
I saw a very interesting news report, Mike, about that.
We are on the verge of becoming a desert again.
The rainfall in California has not changed dramatically. It is the fact that a lot of things are going on where, they're no longer allowed to irrigate because of some fish.
Yeah, the smell.
The water has to go straight to the ocean now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's insane.
Because the rainfall has not changed. So, because I was thinking, wow, what would cause a drought like this? Oh, it's because they're not allowed to irrigate. They're not allowed to terraform.
Water is just being dumped because of, from what I understand, it's a bait fish. It's not even it's bait fish.
Yeah, exactly. It's similar to anchovy, not anchovy. What's the fucking?
Well, it is similar to an anchovy.
Yeah,
smelt is a bait fish, and it's what they use to bring in. It's what the fishing industry uses to bring in the larger fish, right?
Yeah.
So what happens? You've got California, which is the 6th largest economy in the world, trying to decide what industry is more important and who has more rights.
And sadly, the fish is winning.
Well, no.
It's a terrible abuse of the Prime Directive,
out.
if you ask me.
There's a different way of looking at it. It's evening out. Beforehand, it was always agriculture. They always won. That's what the Mulholland Reservoir was built for, to feed Los Angeles and the farmers in the Central Valley. That's where all of those little concrete irrigation routes run from the Sacramento River and everything all the way down.
And they also make the greatest chase scenes in movies.
That's true. But the fishing industry, which is also huge in California, as you can imagine, because the length of its coast is so big, wasn't getting the bait fish that they needed beforehand because they were sucking all the water away from the deltas. But so now California is like, well, who's more important? You know what? Neither one of them are more important. We need them both. So they needed to even out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's not like farmers aren't getting any water. It's just that they're not getting the gross amounts of water that they used to. And it's also an industry which steadfastly refuses to use better techniques on preservation of its water. They're using these huge spray out in the air sprinkler systems when drip irrigation and other systems that are used here in the Southwest to great effect aren't being used because they're water hogs in California. They need to modernize their watering techniques.
It's interesting in what you said about that. And like around here, and growing up in New England, fishing huge, obviously up
right
there. Down here in the Mid-Atlantic, fishing huge. Well, crabbing and fishing. I think of like Seattle, Washington, and all of that, and the fishing. And with California, I never really thought of fishing as being a huge thing out there, except for of course, the San Francisco. Was it the Fisherman's Pier?
Yeah.
But it never, because I think of California, I think more of Southern California.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting that it's.
There are seriously, there's hundreds and hundreds of fishing areas. I mean, all the way from.
Oh, I can see it. I just
all the way from Eureka, all the way down into San Diego. Every little community along the coast is a fishing community.
Yeah,
and not unlike it's
not unlike Rhode Island.
Yeah, imagine 150 little Rhode Islands.
Yeah, serious. That's But so we had the snow here. But I'll tell you what was really funny. I still am not able to do certain things by doctor's order, and shoveling snow was one that was very, very precisely.
Yeah, hernia would not be good.
Yes, exactly. Because I don't know if what they did was they did the laparoscopy. They went in through the belly button and then on the side, and there's a big scar across my chest because that's where he removed the organ. And come to find out this week, and I kind of yelled at the lovely Janice for this, and I'll tell you her reply to it after. I said, why did you not tell me that the doctor had trouble on the table because my blood pressure dropped incredibly, and they were very worried, and hence the doctor. It's never good when your doctor says, oh yes, your surgery was very difficult, that you are remembered for having difficult surgery.
Wow.
And her reply was, well, he didn't tell me that. Oh, you with your excuses.
Oh, please.
But it would explain why she said I was pasty white when I came out, and why I had blood in my eyes for a week after. But I'm not allowed to do any because I still have the stitches on the inside, and like you said, I'd get a hernia. But here's the thing that really makes me laugh is the guy that I rent from, he's about 6'1", 6'2". He's a very big guy. He could easily be a pro wrestler. You both have met Janice. She's 5'3". She's slight. He won't let me do a damn thing, and I can only imagine it's because she went downstairs, and I'm just picturing her with one hand on her hip, the other pointing at him, saying, "And he's not allowed to do this, and he's not allowed to do this, and he's not allowed to do this," and Joe going, "Yes, okay, I understand."
That's cool. We love
She's
Janice.
a formidable woman.
She's very tough. And then last weekend I went to Farpoint.
And that's what I was going to say. Yay, let's talk about stuff that's going on at Farpoint. What the heck? You sounded like you were having so much fun.
Well, Janice was supposed to come down for it, but the snow put the kibosh on that, so we didn't get to spend our Valentines together. But I got her permission, and I spent it with Kelly Medding, the lovely Kelly.
Yay! Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, she's working on her new trilogy. Her new she showed me the cover for it.
Oh no!
And I said, they spelled your name wrong. She said, no, I'm going with the pseudonym. I said, oh, okay. My bad.
That's funny.
No, it was really fun. Got to see Dave Mack and Keith DeCanado. Had a really long talk with Peter David. Mike, you saw that there was an email in our inbox from Janine Spenlove. So there's about 4 or 5 authors that I got the stuff from who do different types of novels, but they're all extremely interesting. So we'll be setting those up in the near future. Peter David and Bob Greenberger wound up playing poker on Friday night with, now let me see, Dave Mack, Who was in the middle? Glenn Hoffman, Aaron Rosenberg, Kelly, me, and Keith DeCanado.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then Saturday was a great day, and I the masquerade party after, and we danced and just had a great time. I got to meet Melissa McBride, Carol from The Walking Dead, who, oh my God, for a woman on such a huge television show, I've never met anybody so shy in my life. She really.
Sometimes actors and actresses just are.
Well, most people don't realize her career has been behind the camera with casting and stuff.
Right.
And Frank Darabont had her in The Mist, which was a great horror movie. I know you probably didn't see it, Terry. But when he did the script for it, it's based on a Stephen King novella. His ending was so great that Stephen King literally said, "Fuck, I wish I had written that ending."
Wow.
Yeah, because the ending to the novella was kind of open-ended because that's kind of what the publisher wanted. And Stephen King, when he wrote it at the time, didn't have the power to go, but that's not the ending I want. Because, when it comes to writing, Stephen King does something really interesting. After he writes something, if any of you have ever read Stephen King, his books can be they're thick. I mean, the guy doesn't really have, and he puts it all out there. But when he does, he is spent. It's exhausted. But he always winds up writing a short story or novella right afterwards, almost like the shiver after an orgasm.
Okay.
Well, that's how I've heard him describe it. But you know what I mean? He's got that one last boom that comes out of him. It could be a 5-page short story. It could be a 25-page novella.
Okay.
And that's how the books from different seasons came about. So Frank Darabont rewrote the ending for The Mist for the movie starring Tom Jane, the dreamy Tom Jane. And so Melissa McBride was in that movie. A lot of people that are in Frank Darabont movies, Shawshank, The Mist, things like that, have wound up in The Walking Dead. Because, producers... Martin
and
Scorsese.
Casting directors, they all pull from the same group because they trust them.
Now that Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci are old men, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, they're old men. Leonardo DiCaprio has become Martin Scorsese's go-to guy.
Right.
Which has only expanded his career amazingly. So she was very interesting, but what was really, really fun was during the fan Q&A, she just came out, and usually, they give like a 10-minute or so. Hi, I'm, Terry, and I live in New Mexico, and I have German Shepherds, and blah, blah, and then they open it up. She just came out and said, "Hello, who has a question?"
That's great.
The crowd just kind of looked around at each other like, "What? Already?"
That's funny.
But somebody asked a question, and she said, "Oh, no, that's season 4. I am not allowed to talk about season 4. I can talk about seasons 1, 2, and 3, but I cannot talk about season 4. And then Sunday, the very next day, she came back to the show. So that was awesome that we had her like just before. But yeah, a very sweet woman with a great sense of humor.
Who else?
And I even asked her a question.
Oh, you did?
I asked her, I said, what is a day like? See, you don't watch the show, Terry. Season 2 was spent pretty much entirely on this farm. A lot of people thought to the detriment of the series, but it was because they had a budget cutback, so they spent this time on the farm. Because, it was a single place that they could film. But the final episode, there's a huge zombie overrun and all of this, and there's fire, and there's like hundreds of zombies walking around, and there's gunshots and cars flying everywhere. It was a really great episode. I said, what was it like to film something of that scope? What is the day like for that? I said, what's it like when because that show is like Game of Thrones. Anybody can die at any time.
Right.
I said, when you get the script and you see, oh, dear God, they're dead.
Yeah.
They're dead for sure. And she talked about when they filmed the final episode of season 2, which was, like I said, this huge battle where they burned down this big barn and everything. She said it was 20 degrees out and they were all freezing. And in between takes, there were these dots of yellow all across the farm because they would run out, the people would run out and put blankets around the zombies who had to just sit there and lay there. So they're like laying on the ground in 20 degrees drinking coffee and they're zombie.
Oh.
And she said, and you'd walk around and you'd hear from the zombies.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah. But she said, a lot of the people are the same zombies or the zombies over and over, just in different makeup because, well, they've got it down, how to do the shuffle and what the director needs and all of that. So it was a very interesting time. Farpoint is a teeny tiny little convention that has so much heart. It's so much fun. And I got Vine, so I figured out how to use Vine at the convention. So that was why all these little 6-second videos were going up.
Nice. Wow. I like it. The 6-second videos. Those are cute.
And it looks like I will be going the weekend of April 18th to AwesomeCon in DC.
Where is that?
In DC. Let me read you the guest list.
Oh, boy.
It truly is an awesome con.
By the way, we saw Lego Movie.
You said. Carrie Yules.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Mike, you know who that is?
No.
He was Wesley in Princess Bride.
Oh, okay.
Jules State from Firefly. Kaylee.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, you do.
Rawr.
Kevin Sorbo.
Okay, right on.
Jeez.
J. August Richards.
And a belly dancer.
Yes.
And who else? I'm sorry.
J. August Richards from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
Deathlock.
Peter Mayhew.
Okay.
That's Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Melissa McBride. Iron E. Singleton, also from Walking Dead. Nicholas Brendan, who played Xander in Buffy.
In Buffy.
Dirk Benedict.
Oh, is he going to come and that's...
Aaron Gray.
He'll be cranky. Aaron Gray!
Ernie Hudson. I want to meet a Ghostbuster.
Oh, right on.
Fine.
Madison Lintz, who played Sophia in The Walking Dead. Raphael Sbarge. He's on Once Upon a Time.
Oh, I don't know them.
Walter Jones and David Yost from Power Rangers.
How fun.
A bunch of voice actors. Jim Cummings, Richard Hovitz, Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson. He's Animaniacs. He's brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. I follow him. He's Yakko Pinky on Twitter if you guys want to follow him. He's awesome.
And Jim Cummings does Darkwing Duck.
Aww. Jim Cummings does more than Darkwing Duck, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Tigger, Darkwing Duck. George Perez, the comic book artist.
Cool.
Ben Templesmith, Timothy Zahn, Steve Niles,
wow.
Joe Rubenstein. There's a whole bunch of people from the comics.
Wow, it's a great lineup.
Plus, there's
and when is that?
This is April 18th, 19th, and 20th. And somebody...
Yes?
Hold on, I'm checking because I thought that I just saw that they added Gail Simone, but I guess I didn't. I saw something. Two things flashed across my screen at the same time. If Gail Simone was there, I would be... Yeah. Trek Gen might be coming out for it.
Oh, how fun.
And if that happens, you will hear my squee in New Mexico.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I haven't seen her since that year we did Vegas, the first year I did Vegas.
Right. So that's AwesomeCon? What is it called?
AwesomeCon. Oh, and the cosplayer Annie Mia will be there.
And
it's in Washington,
What else?
DC.
Oh God, we've also been. Con season's already started. Con season has expanded, right? It used to be just like the summer months, but now it has really kind
pretty
of
much
expanded.
starts around Valentine's weekend.
It really does. It starts around Valentine's weekend. Gallifrey 1 was occurring simultaneously as
Melissa, your
Farpoint.
pictures were adorable.
Yeah, Gallifrey 1 is a huge Doctor Who convention in Los Angeles. I want to say it's the biggest Doctor Who convention outside the UK. And the pictures that were coming out of it were great. People said that it was a fantastic convention, probably the best one they've had yet. Pictures that I've seen.
Oh, Billie Piper is going to be at AwesomeCon. I forgot to say that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she was at Gallifrey 1.
Yeah.
It was fun to see the pictures of all of our friends with Billie Piper. But speaking of conventions, I think we need to do a Star Trek Las Vegas update.
Shall we just start right off the bat with a Las Vegas update?
Are we still talking Vegas, right?
We are.
Talking about Vegas.
Yes.
You're coming to Vegas, right? Star Trek Las Vegas may take place every August, but on this show...
This is where we hang out the rest of the year.
Exactly.
The crew has been fatigued now from so many months in space, and they need to take a break. The landing party has beamed down to check out the terrain while the crew gets ready to play. They say there's only plant life living on this lovely rock, but a rodent appears wearing a vest.
Yeah, are we going or no to discuss?
Yes.
Okay. Squeak!
Well, first and foremost, I was excited because it's been 3 weeks since I've been able to do a Star Trek Las Vegas update. I was very excited to see about the addition of David Warner.
Yes, panel. Because Terry, I know that you didn't bother to listen to the shows from when you were gone.
I was sleeping. Tell me, Mikey, what do you think?
I was very pleased. Very, very pleased.
Mike needed a ShamWow.
I did.
I'm excited because he's just such a great actor.
Right.
Matter of fact, David Warner led to a discussion with Generations Geek about Time After Time.
Oh, another great movie.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right. David Warner also, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he also play the Cardassian in Chains of Command?
He was Gul Macet.
Yeah, that was his name. Madrid,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Gul Madrid. So yeah, that's really the role. Although I know him as Chancellor Gorkon, I tend to remember him more because of Gul Madrid, because he was so creepy in that. You know, it was that whole "is it safe" thing, right? Creepy. I don't know. How has anybody else been? I mean, I don't know who else has been added since, because I've been out of touch. Looks like Robert Duncan McNeil, John Billingsley, pretty much everybody that we know from before. Gwyneth Walsh.
Yeah.
I didn't see her before. Eric Pierpoint.
Yeah, that was what,
Jim
2 weeks ago, Mike, Eric Pierpoint?
Huh?
I think that was 2 weeks ago that Eric Pierpoint was added.
Well, Derek Lofton, Denise Crosby, Ronald B. Moore, not Ronald D. Moore, but Ronald B. Moore, who was the visual effects coordinator and supervisor.
B. Moore.
Sally Kellerman, Catherine Hicks, Don Stark, Bobby Clark, and Doug Drexler.
And Bobby Clark, who also was the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers when they won the Stanley Cup in the early 70s, if you remember.
I don't think that's the same person.
No, it's not the same Bobby Clark? Oh. Go on.
Nice try, though.
Throw some hockey trivia in there.
There is some good news about the G&T show, again, about the Star Trek Las Vegas.
This is huge.
We're very, very happy to announce that we will be working in conjunction with Mark Cushman and Jacobs Brown Publishing, I think it is.
Yep, Brown.
Mark Cushman, we're going to be we're going to be hosting the publishing company at our booth this year and playing host to Mark Cushman, who, of course, is the author of the These Are the Voyages books, which goes over the story behind the story of the original series.
Book 2 comes out next month.
Yes. Right, Book 2 comes out next month, and hopefully by the time Season 2, we're very happy to have Mark sitting at the G&T booth. He will be selling and signing his books at the convention. Please stop by, buy the books,
and
order
it is
the
worth
set.
Every penny.
They're awesome. They're wonderful. You'll be able to buy them there. What else is going on? So yeah, we're going to be. I'm working with Barbara.
That's really good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, Terry, do you want to talk about the other thing that we were talking about before the show?
There was a couple of them.
Because it leads to that one panel.
Yeah, I guess I should. It's not common knowledge just yet because we don't have a full list of who has been involved, but I can pretty much, and I should pretty much let everybody know that unfortunately the last captain's log over at Massively was my last. Massively going through a series of layoffs, and I was an unfortunate victim along with many other people. So it wasn't just me, and it wasn't just the Star Trek column. There was a lot of us. So unfortunately, my association with Massively has ended, and I miss them. I mean, you guys, we're everybody at Massively. Like I said, we're still kind of going through the shock phase of what's going on. So Although I was offered the opportunity to finish out the month, the money that I got for those columns, I told them to give to somebody who was a full-time employee who would be losing their job. So what that money would have meant to me is nothing compared to somebody who makes their living from writing and now has to find a new writing job. So I'm sad. And yet at the same time, things are going to be fine, because the good news is I no longer have any conflicts of interest to worry about with regards to Star Trek Online. And I will be continuing our relationship with Star Trek Online and the panel in Las Vegas, but in our positions as G&T show. So G&T show's picking up where Massively left off. So I'm happy to say that. And where we're going to, that's where I'm happy that things are.
Well, having said that about your last column being your last column, I thought you brought up some extremely good points in that last column.
Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of it kind of bummed me out that was the way to go out, right? Was to complain about inventory.
I want to play Star Trek Online.
Engineering here. Warp engines are online.
Course laid in, Captain.
Engage.
Your ship.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Your crew.
Move out.
Your destiny.
Because that was kind of
It's still the biggest issue in the game, I
was
think.
going to say, that was something that needed to be said in a column, because look at the comments that came afterwards where everybody said, take my money. More inventory slots, take my money.
Right. And I know that Chris, who everybody might remember as being the host for Stoked, the video podcast that used to be on a couple of years ago, he put his response in the G Plus page, which rightfully said, the biggest problem is that it's a database issue. It's not like they don't want to give you more space. And I thought, okay, you know what? That's bullshit. It doesn't matter. I can understand why it's a database issue. The problem is that they built a game around inventory. Why would you push your players into a position of not being able to play because they don't have a place to put the stuff you're creating?
Yeah, and they keep throwing more and more and more and more and more at us, and it's like, we can't hold anymore. So something had to give. And I don't even really play anymore, because what am I supposed to do? I mean,
I could go around and grind all the rep, but to what end? I don't have a place to put all the reputation weapons.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm done. I even put, because I knew I was going to get grief for it. Peregrine Falcon gave me shit saying, well, you keep all sorts of bullshit in your inventory. And I'm like, it might be bullshit for you.
Exactly.
It's not bullshit to me. This is what I keep in my inventory. I'm like an overflow person for the anomalies. I'm an overflow person for commodities. I'm an active member of my fleet. If Peregrine Falcon keeps his inventory solely for himself, that's the way he plays. Good for him. But that's not the way I play.
It's like we all have our HUD set up differently,
Right.
We all keep different things.
And
do I need 500 minor repair things for the ship? Probably not, but I'm glad I have them.
Yeah. You never know. It'll be that one thing, right?
It'll be that one thing that all of a sudden, when you're doing some kind of reputation thing or something where you need 40 large power cells and you don't have them anymore, and you don't, fuck, now I got to spend EC that I didn't really,
Ross has a good point, and that is he keeps a lot of his reputation ships on his ships. Now that the new kind of loadout feature is there, that's all well and good. Except for the fact I still have no room in my inventory to swap loadouts, because your previous loadout ends up in your fucking inventory.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's a little stupid. I can understand to a degree that they want to keep people heading to the social zones, but something's just not quite working there. At least I don't think they intended for me to not play the game because I can't use the tools I can't use the tools that they're giving us because I can't find space in my inventory. If I do one crystalline entity run and maybe one Azure Nebula run, my spaces are filled up with the vendor trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to swap loadouts then? Please.
What I would like, is a pet tab or space and ground. But I would also like for something in crafting where we can like decompile objects, whether it's anything from the data samples that we collect or commodities or, just gear that we pick up along the way. Let us destroy it and earn some kind of something that is used in crafting,
Yeah. Matthew Anderson in the chat room. Matthew Anderson in the chat room says it's a matter of them throwing resources and tech at the problem. So it's just a matter of time, just like the Foundry. Yeah. And how much tech have they thrown at the Foundry lately?
Well, I will tell you one of the funniest things that I've seen lately was in Zone Chat the other day. I was doing for my Dyson reputation. I'm close to repping out on that, and somebody posted, I got my Dyson Fed Science ship. It looks like a soap dispenser.
Oh, it does not. It does not. I did go in and I, although I didn't have the time to put in to grind the commendations for the ships, I did get the ship on each faction, on each one of my science officers in each faction. And I got them because I did the
freebie grind.
I did the featured episode, and then I went to the Starfleet Academy and did that once or twice. And then I just bought the low-buy boxes.
Oh, I did the grind.
Did you? Well, to me, it was fine. To me, it was a lot more appealing to use my low-buy to get those science ships, one, because I think they're cool. Then it was because, to be honest with you, there wasn't a whole lot in the low-buy store that I really, really wanted. Otherwise, I would have purchased it already. And I had 800, almost 900 low-buy that I had been sitting on for almost a year.
Hey, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
I have almost 3,000 low-buy.
Yeah, you just sit on them, right?
Yeah.
And if something comes, and I'm keeping it because, like this, if something comes around where I go, oh, I want that. To be honest with you, it only cost me 200 low-buy on each character, which wasn't bad for me not to have to grind, and I got the ship I wanted, so I was happy about that. The only thing I needed to do was grind the featured episode to get the space set.
Right.
And I only had to do that on 2 characters. That wasn't too bad. So to me, the grind wasn't so bad because I chose not to. I can see where it would have been just a droll thing. Playing the featured episode over and over and over again to me was hard because it's a very long episode.
I don't
mind that. It takes like an hour to play.
I don't mind replaying it so much, except for hearing that whiny fuck's voice.
Dr. Cooper.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, dropping down to Starfleet Academy to chase Q or to find him in a box, that's not a big deal.
No.
That's easy.
Although
until some cadet walks through my boxes and wakes me up.
I don't like the boxes. I wish there was an alternative thing that we can do. Give me something else that I can do along with. That way, it's one or the other. Give me one or the other, not just that one, because that one gets annoying.
That's kind of the point of it, Mike. He's cute.
Give me an alternative option.
Yeah, I don't know. The last one I did, I think I ended up chasing after Q 3 times and only having to find him in boxes twice. That wasn't so bad. No. And but the other Star Trek Online news.
I'm sorry, I just pictured you, not your characters, you running across Starfleet Academy going, hey, wait for me!
Yeah, that's especially Grana. But the other Star Trek news that's kind of come out since I've been is it looks like they're finally pushing ARC on us, guys.
Yeah, we discussed that with Adrian and Magnum, and I don't want to have to do something new with that. Don't fucking force a new platform on me.
I don't even like. I think it's just the fact that they're bringing in Star Trek Online under a single brand of the Perfect World brand, and they're making the now that the website is part of the ARC. They put it into this generic square boxy thing, and it doesn't make it look any different than it. Boring. It's not just boring. It's a really ugly website, you guys. It really is.
And
I'm not a fan of the colors.
I'll tell you, I'm a fan of the colors. It's a lot easier for me to read because I can't read white on black. So the gray font is a lot easier for me to read. That I have to give them credit for. But it's just boring.
Yeah.
The boxy thing's boring. Sorry, Nick.
No, it's the Dyson. When I'm in the Dyson sphere, it's already, there's so much in it that my computer gets a little laggy with it. And now don't make me download something else. It's going to eat up even more of my memory.
Right. Well, memory or hard drive?
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, see, it's my understanding that the people that have used it haven't complained too much at all about their memory being eaten up. As a matter of fact, no one I know of who's used it recently has made that complaint. The only thing I'm still nervous about is that when you install it, it takes up 10 gig of your hard drive space, and they don't tell you why.
Well,
for some people, 10 gig is big.
From what I understand, it scans your computer for installations and uses those. It's not supposed to install another copy of whatever.
It doesn't. It's just taking up space and it's not using it. It's like it's saving it for a future something or other. But they're not telling us why. Like, why do you need to hold 10 gigs of space for no reason?
I don't think I have 10 gigs.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure why that is, which is the only reason why I haven't really installed it yet. I understand that it scans. It actively scans, like your in your BIOS. It actively scans like your video card and everything else. But that's kind of needed and necessary because it's for performance issues. I can kind of understand that they want to. But other than that, I'm more or less less enthused by the new website. I think it's just kind of.
Sunsail's talking about a bug that invalidates KDF costume slots, meaning you can't equip the costume slot, not change it nor delete it, and that it's also doing the KDF-aligned Romulans.
Yeah, that bug has been around for how long, Michael?
Not sure, but I saw a screenshot yesterday or the day before from David where his character was running around with, she was just a floating head with hands. It was freaky.
Oh, weird.
So I don't think that's the same issue as Sun is describing, but still, there's a lot of bugs going on with costumes on the KDF, apparently.
I don't know. I mean, the people, like I said, the people that I know who use it don't hate it, and they haven't had anything to complain about. It hasn't affected their performance of their game. I think that for me, there was just still a couple of questions that they haven't answered. Honestly, they just haven't answered, even though they've been asked. It's like a question they find a way to avoid answering, and that's what the fuck do you need the 10 gig for? Now, for me, like I said, for me, not a big issue because I have a 3 terabyte machine. But for those people who play on, say, an older or smaller laptop, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's space that, you could use for something else, even a completely separate game. So I guess I just didn't understand the reason why that was necessary. And until somebody can answer that question for me, I'm not going to use it. So there.
Amen.
But I have to say, I do like my Dyson Science Distro. I put Bill in it. Nice, fun,
Terry, you're getting kind of Skypey.
Am I? Sorry. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah. Midnight Shadow said you have a huge one.
Oh, my hard drive? Yeah.
Yeah. They don't even want to see Alan's hard
last
drive.
year I was able to invest in a gorgeous Alienware desktop, and he's a beastie. And Fullback put it together for me, so it's all pretty.
Right on.
It's got everything I need. So yeah, that's Star Trek Online. Michael, we have some great announcements about the G&T show itself.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me find some links. We have a YouTube page now and a MixCloud page as well. I created those in order to try and give more methods for people to find us. So there's the MixCloud page. I'm looking for the YouTube.
The MixCloud page is very cool. I love that. What a great, a nice, an additional way for people to access our podcasts.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, just more ways to get your GNT show fix.
Yay.
And that's the link to the YouTube. It's my old page. I'm going to try to see if I can change the address so it's a little more GNT friendly.
Cool. Well, we have some other kind of basic Star Trek news. Do you hear we're done with announcements for our own show?
I think so.
I want to talk a little bit about the book club.
Oh, yes, the book club.
We need people.
Yeah, go ahead.
We need people for the book club, you guys. And we also need to discuss maybe finding a better date so I can participate in the ones I want to participate in. But if you read any of the Star Trek novels and want to participate in our monthly book club shows, we would love to have you join us. Please send Mike and us a note saying that you're interested. You can send it over to hosts@gntshow.com. I think our monthly, they occur on Skype, correct?
We do them in
TeamSpeak.
We do
Okay.
TeamSpeak.
Mike, what is the registration fee?
It's free if you want to talk about the books with us.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, and we would love,
and we
would
do
love
stream
to have
it.
you to participate. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing lately that a few of our regulars have just, you know how life is. They get a new job or something like that, and you're just not reading as much as you used to. But we would love to have you participate so you can talk about and help promote the novels. That'd be awesome.
We love the books, and we want to talk about the books, but it's just kind of, the more people, the better discussion we have, the more things we can, discover. Because I may pick up on something you don't, you may pick up something that I don't, and that other person may find something that none of us saw. So the more the merrier. That's
exactly right. So there's that. Yes?
The lovely Janice has been watching the original series from the Cage forward in order. I think the last one watched, Air Order.
Okay.
I think the last one she watched may have been Balance of Terror.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be like doing something and all of a sudden my text starts blowing up. Boy, Kirk's being a jerk in this one.
Yeah,
what are you
welcome
talking
to TOS.
about? Yeah, what are you talking about? Oh, she's watching again. And it was really funny with Riley's drunk with the naked time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had discovered, since I've been reading These Are the Voyages, I had discovered that Air Order is not the same as Production Order.
Exactly. Right.
So, yeah, that was very cool, very interesting.
Yeah, so she's watching those, so it's been fun to see her reacting and to see, like, her daughter's reaction to some things, like, why is that woman serving them coffee? Because it was the 1960s, and that's what she did.
Yeah, I have. All right, so additional news. Star Trek news? I am so proud to be a talkie geek.
We've got our problems with the film, which we'll get into on our dopey little podcast and nitpick it to death.
Star Trek news?
So congratulations to the always dreamy David Mack. There's Legos?
No.
Star Trek news?
Yes, the story behind the story. The movie that never was made.
They got a Klingon!
I know.
Sold.
You playing Klingon? That's right, I'm gonna throw in a Buck Mackay rookie card. That's right, a Buck Mackay for people. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Star Trek news? Did you guys see the fact that, Spain is getting a Paramount park? And then there's going to be a Trek themed area in it. Did you talk about it last week?
No, it came out this week.
Came out this week. I will put the link. I think it's funny, and it never ceases to amaze me that everybody picks up on these pictures of, like, Kirk and Spock from the original series, right? But when it comes to Paramount doesn't own any of the television stuff, so they can't put a theme park together that has any of the television stuff in it. It's all going to be JJ verse, people. So if you want to go to...
That's because they're constrained. Yeah, they're constrained by that. So.
Right.
The design aesthetic is definitely all JJ.
Yeah, this is all JJ verse. It's interesting. It's called Paramount Park Muncia. Will be in Spain. And this is all of the... concept art for the Star Trek area. We've already blasted them about the fact that... It has a
Star Tours ride.
Yeah, it does. Which, you know what? A lot of those shuttles things totally designed to be... Disney does that too. You make a movie and you think, oh, they're going to make a ride out of this. You just know it. People are already giving the concept art grief because the Starfleet Delta is backwards. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be roller coasters and shuttle rides and probably, like you said, a Star Tours type-esque thing. And yay for Spain. Good for them for getting this. I guess it's better than, what's the other one that was built? It wasn't Dubai.
Yeah, it was Dubai.
Was it Dubai? I thought it was in...
No, it's Syria. Jordan. It was in Jordan.
It was in Jordan. That's it. Did that one ever get put together? Or did
I have not heard in a long time anything about it.
I had thought that it was supposed to open in 2015, so if anybody knows if the Star Trek park in Jordan ever got built, let us know. Although we all kind of figured it was pretty much just a private little pleasure area for the king.
God, I wish I had that kind of fuck you money.
Then there's fun. What other fun thing came out? Did you guys see the Starfleet Delta sand dunes on Mars?
No.
I did. Those were cool.
It's awesome. There's these sand dunes on Mars that have blown in such a way that just because of the way that physics is, that they all developed into what looks like a bunch of Starfleet deltas.
The Martians, they love Star Trek there. You know, it's big. It's big on Mars. It's huge.
Terra Prime.
Don't make me laugh. I keep coughing. But I thought it was cool. Alan read me the article the other day, and I was like, "Those are so cool! Look at them!" And they even explain as to how they developed and why they developed the way that they did, and it makes sense. And now you understand why birds fly in formation.
Mm-hmm.
I love their picture of Kirk, which is backwards in that article.
There's a woman, Paul Michael Design has created a set of science fiction-inspired jewelry, these rings. Did you guys see these?
Oh, my God. Everybody and their brothers sending me the Enterprise ring.
But you know what I have to say is the Enterprise ring is kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But the one that I loved was the R2-D2 ring was awesome.
Oh, yeah, that is
the one
cool.
with the yeah.
Come on, that's cool. Even got the little pink jewel on the side it's cute. I love those.
That is
those
cool.
are awesome. Big news coming out of Star Trek Continues.
They are producing their third episode.
Yep, and our friend James Kerwin has been named the director.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So congratulations to James Kerwin.
Hi, Kipling.
Hi, Kipling. Hi,
She's
Jay.
supposed to be in it as well, so
she is.
We'll have to get them on the show and talk to us about their experiences.
Excuse me while I fan myself off.
So James Kerwin, who's known for being the director of a couple of wonderful films, including
RURs,
RUR, the teaser trailer for that. If they're ever able to come up with the money to produce the entire film, that would be great. But RUR Genesis is out there. You guys can check it out. It stars Kipley Brown and Chase Masterson. And then another black and white film noir, the futuristic film noir, no less, is Yesterday Was a Lie, a fantastic film that stars both Kipley Brown and Chase Masterson. Just a unique film. Deals with kind of multiple universes, time travel, and destiny. Very, very cool film. He's been named as the director for Star Trek Continues episode.
Oh, Kipley Brown.
And Lou Ferrigno.
Yes, he was in Lolani, episode 2. And
I didn't even realize that. But I thought it was funny that the National Enquirer picked up the bid on it. Did you see that?
Yeah. Good piece. It was actually a good piece too.
And not the least of which is not bad for what we call a fan production or an unofficial production to get that kind of national exposure, even if it is Spire.
Well, since we mentioned
that's probably a bigger readership than anybody else would get.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Since
Go ahead,
you mentioned the production, the Star Trek Axanar, they are putting together a Kickstarter for Prelude to Axanar, which is, I guess, it's not a prequel for the film, but it's a postscript that they're creating first.
Interesting.
From what I understand.
I thought it was a primer. Like a primer to show what leads up to the Battle of Axanar.
From what I understand, it's supposed to take place after the battle, kind of like a summary, but looking backward. I don't know. It just seemed interesting, but they are working on that. So support that. I think it's coming out next month. So support Star Trek Axanar because it seems like it's going to kick ass.
And it's not Star Trek related, but congratulations to Arrow for being picked up for season 3. That makes me so happy.
Well, of course it was going to happen.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, of course it was going to happen. It's a popular show, and I want to say it's one of their best
in the ratings,
their best rated shows.
But in the ratings, it's one of the lowest on the actual rating scale.
But on their channel, it's still one of their best.
But demographically, it's one of the highest rated.
Right.
So.
Oh well.
And Suicide Squad's about to be introduced, which makes me so happy.
What else was I going to say? Oh, and
Good Morning Lamb.
The Axanar actually they posted a great new kind of like a teaser of one of the shots of the ship. Did you see that, Michael?
Yes, where it's like kind of like
Hertzler posted it on his Facebook page too.
It's kind of it's like it's flying through up the upper atmosphere of a planet
of a gas giant. Yeah, it's a beautiful
is that what it
shot.
Yeah,
and beautifully done and professionally done, and one of those things where you kind of go, wow. They're not pulling punches on the production quality of Star Trek Axanar.
Well, they do want this is a professional. They got professionals working on it, so they want to make this as good as they possibly can.
Yeah,
and I can respect that. I can dig it.
So can I. Anything coming out of Star Trek Destination Star Trek at Frankfurt that there's a lot of people. A lot of our listeners are in Europe, so tell us what's up, guys. I heard today that Connor Trenier was asked about season 5, the push to have a season 5 on Netflix for Star Trek Enterprise. And he was actually really honest with people and said, CBS and Paramount have no interest whatsoever in any future Star Trek Enterprise material. I don't think that's too surprising. Huh?
That's okay. We got the books.
Yeah, which I understand are doing quite well. So, yay.
Christopher L. Bennett's was excellent, that his last one. And Terry, were you here when Kristen made the New York Times bestseller list?
No, that's wonderful news.
Yes, her Voyager novel made the bestseller list.
Oh, fantastic. Great news. See, so Star Trek books on the whole. This is wonderful.
The last 6 have become New York Times best-selling authors.
So is it something about Star Trek books?
Already. Because David R. George already was, Swallow already was, Mac already was, but now Una has become, Dayton has become, and Kristen has become.
I'm just so thrilled for that. That's wonderful.
And speaking of Dayton, let me say, Dayton, he uprooted his family rudely and moved into Ward Manor 2.0. So there is no Ask Dayton this week because he had been, they had been.
Oh, he's moving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that week.
They are now occupying Ward Manor 2.0.
I don't think that's an excuse not to have his Ask Dayton. Personally, he's still writing his books. Just saying. G&T bump helped make you a New York Times best-selling author, Bubba.
Here's the G&T bump. G&T bump.
It is.
We need a song. Somebody needs to make us a song.
Oh, God, no. You just inspired them.
I like it.
Contest?
No, maybe.
Oh, dear God.
I love it.
But yeah.
So if any of you are wonderful listeners happen to be attending Destination Star Trek in Germany, in Frankfurt, will you please let us know? We'd love to have you on, talk about what's going on, who you got to see. The guest list is phenomenal. Carl Urban, William Shatner, Tim Russ, pretty much everybody from TNG was there. Looking forward to hearing what they had to say. The recaps over at StarTrek.com are not as detailed as I would have hoped.
Yeah, I read the first day. I read the first day recap, and it was like, okay, not much was discussed.
I'm getting more information from Twitter, from people that I know that are there from Twitter or are hashtagging what's going on, but not a lot of written material is coming out.
It's kind of odd.
There wasn't a lot of new. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer.
We do have some new emails.
Yay, let's talk about them.
GNT shows, listener mail. We want to hear from you. Send your questions, comments, and suggestions to hosts@gntshow.com. Complaints should be forwarded to J.J. Abrams.
The first is from Joshua Caldwell, and the subject is thank you. and he says, "Thank you for mentioning the Revolutions podcast the other week. I really love it." Terry, you weren't here. Revolutions is a podcast that I actually discovered through Janice.
Yay.
It is this guy. He originally did a podcast, many episodes, the rise, the history of the Roman Empire.
Oh, interesting.
Very interesting, very interesting. And now he's doing Revolutions, which I'm listening to the first part of it, which is Charles I just got his head chopped off in England during that revolution. The whole Oliver Cromwell, all of that. And now his podcast is all the way up to the American Revolution, and then the French Revolution will follow that.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
It's a very, very interesting, and I had mentioned it when Generations Geek was on, that it's well worth your time. Like, I know Kerry's a driver, so he's got long drives, something to listen to, or if you're doing work in your house, something like that. It's a really good podcast.
Very cool. That sounds neat.
Farpoint. Oh no, that was something else.
But
oh, that was it. The other email we got was from Janine Spence.
What else?
But that was about Farpoint.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And I know that we were briefly talking in the chat room. Did anybody happen to see last night the short, probably 15-second teaser dropped in the Olympics coverage from NBC about heroes coming back?
I didn't see it on TV. I saw it on the web.
The web. Yeah, it was just a black screen. It was a planet that was, you were pulling back.
It was the eclipse. It was the hero's eclipse.
Right. And then the camera scans by it, and then the black comes out, and it just says Heroes Reborn, and then it said Spring 2015.
From what I understand, it's supposed to be a short, mini-series, a few episodes, 6 or something.
13 episodes.
Oh, is it 13?
Yeah.
That's a full season.
No, they're calling it a mini-series.
Yeah, they're calling it a mini-series.
Interesting, don't you think?
I don't even know if it's the same characters, but, at this point,
yeah, you have to wonder. What the heck did NBC?
I just hope it's the quality of the writing is from first season rather than last season.
Right. Well, you have to remember, second season was a victim of the strike.
Yes, and then after that,
it never regained traction after the strike.
Well, it's something to be. One of these days, it is going to be a miniseries. Okay, you have to wonder sometimes about. They realize now. Has there been too much? Do you think there's been too much time, or do you think that the length of time between what we
I think it's a good length of time. I think it's the right length of time, actually.
So you think it'll play to their benefit?
Yeah, especially with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Arrow, the trend that's going on right now, that the movies are really popular for superheroes, so it's not a bad time, which means that they're looking for scripted adult dramas. Fuck you, NBC, you could always bring back alphas.
Yeah.
Fuckers. Cocksuckers. Drown in a bathtub full of hamster vomit, you pigs.
Don't make me laugh.
I'm still upset.
I know.
Which brings up an interesting point, since we're discussing the superhero genre on screen.
All right.
I saw the best meme the other day. It's a still of Pa Kent and young Clark Kent sitting on the back of the pickup, and it says, DC says a Wonder Woman movie is too hard.
Yeah.
And then below it says, Marvel says, here's your talking raccoon.
Right. The one I saw was actually a tweet by a comedian who said, DC said that the world isn't ready for a Wonder Woman movie, and Disney Marvel says, here's your fucking machine gun wielding raccoon.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's why Marvel will always kick.
And I got to tell you that,
however,
go ahead.
both studios or both companies are not producing a standalone female superhero franchise.
Marvel
not
has
yet
announced. Marvel has announced the Black
announcing is
Widow.
one thing, but show me the money.
The Black Widow movie.
Show it to me.
Yeah, it's going to be like 2016, 2017, Mike. They can't show it to you right now, but they're doing it. That's more than, I don't know, maybe the most recognizable female superhero in the world is getting.
I know, it's a shame. We need it.
Mm-hmm. But did anybody else, two things. One, I have freaking I need a ShamWow every new Winter Soldier trailer that comes out.
I have to say, the Winter Soldier trailers have been really fun to watch.
And
I'm like,
this
wow,
is
that's
somebody
pretty cool.
who didn't like Captain America growing up. The Captain America movie totally made me a fan. So, the movies have done an amazing job with that character. 2, I got a douche chill of happiness watching the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. It made me laugh out loud. Did you watch it, Terry, the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer?
Oh, yeah, I did. No, I did. It was awesome.
Wait, the thing with the finger? Oh, is that how? I didn't know how that operated. I'm sorry. It's got such a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy vibe to it with the humor.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Yeah, it's great. Well, the fact
John
that they
C.
chose,
Reilly.
Yeah, well, I laughed too. I told Alan, and he was like, "Okay, I got to see this," and he laughed the way through it. And I think what really makes the whole damn thing that much better is the song.
Machine gun wielding raccoons.
Oh, Ooga Chaco.
Tree people.
I'm hooked on a feeling. How can you go wrong with that song, right?
Yeah.
So funny. Because it puts you into a mental place.
Does Rocket Raccoon look? It's insane how great that looks.
Right.
But, once again, Marvel gets it.
Now, that's not to say that Captain America, the Winter Soldier, isn't getting some shit. Namely from the sensitive amongst us.
What?
Calm down. About the overt photoshopping of Scarlett Johansson's body in her poster. And for those people who do not understand what we're talking about, in the Black Widow's kind of image from the Avengers film, which I just posted the link to, they did very little to alter Scarlett Johansson's body or make her overtly sexual. She's not supposed to be that way. The Black Widow is kind of this tough bitch, and we kind of love her for that. And unfortunately, the poster that just came out for her for Winter Soldier even made me laugh, because I think they took maybe 3, maybe 4 inches off of her waist, tilted the camera up so they could make her obviously photoshopped breasts look even larger. And you just kind of had to sit there and go, okay, yeah, we get it. And it's really not surprising. But at the same time, yeah, it's like, dude, what was wrong with her body in the first shot? Nothing.
She's hotter in the first one.
I thought so too. So sigh. Yeah, just sigh. So that's the only thing that Winter Soldier's getting shit for. Everybody else is like, oh, I can't wait for this. And I can't wait for the film because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But again, I'm really, really tired of marketing and what they do to make not just women, but men too.
Show me a real woman in movies. I want to see a real woman in movies.
No kidding. And that's what I loved about Black Widow and Avengers. And
Bates is always making movies, Mike.
Well, and I love her.
I love her, exactly.
But come on, we need more, not less.
Interesting panel.
I'm loving that one show, Super Fun Night. Oh my God, hilarious.
Interesting panel at Farpoint about the Marvel movie universe.
Yeah.
And Bob Greenberger was the moderator.
Just to tie it back in, people, he's written for Star Trek novels. So.
Yes, big time. He was the moderator, and he had the upcoming film release schedule for like the next 5 years. In like June 2017, like June 15th release date, Marvel Untitled. They've got it programmed that far out. That's how far out Marvel has programmed what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's...
And part of the reason, and I'll relate this to Star Trek because like continuity and things like that, Kevin Feige, who's in charge of the Marvel Studios, is making sure that everything coincides so that like Sif is going to be on an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which will set up something in the future because the storyline is...
She's chasing an errant Asgardian, right?
Odin sends her after an errant Asgardian. Well, if you've seen The Dark World, you know. If Odin sent her after this Asgardian to bring this Asgardian back, then it's really Loki who has sent this Sif to bring this Asgardian back. Which, how will that tie into future Marvel things? And at the end of Dark World...
bounty hunters.
Yeah, and then at the end of Dark World, you had the Collector, which actually ties into Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
so
that's what happens when you have a cohesive group that monitors your canon.
And DC, not so much.
DC just, well, let's face it, DC isn't Disney. This is what Disney does. This is what they do. All they are is one huge group that monitors branding and making sure that their brand stays consistent. It's a powerful company of geeks. Huh?
So basically, there's a guy who's like walking around. He's the hall monitor, checking everybody for passes.
I can tell you it's an entire division.
Oh, well, that's what Star Trek needs, I guess. We need a hall monitor.
You're right.
You're right. And now
everybody's
Star Trek has its own entire division that's going to be doing the same thing for Star Wars. They're going to gut the entire expanded universe for what happened prior to Disney's taking it over, just like Disney did with Marvel. Gut it, start over again, and say this is how, and it's all going to be consistent. Television show to movies to everything, even shit that ends up on YouTube or Netflix.
Books,
it's
games,
all going to be consistent.
Does the Clone Wars, is that expanded universe, or is that going to fit in with?
I'm not.
It's part
sure.
of the expanded universe.
I'm not
that's
sure
what
how.
I'm curious because I know the books were.
It.
Yeah, I know the books were,
it.
but and I kind of feel for like. I've seen these people that cosplay Star Wars who are just so in love with the expanded universe stuff, which, I don't blame them. Some of them are really awesome. But I feel bad for them now. Now somebody's retroactively coming in and going, yeah, it doesn't count.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah, it does. And oh, how cute! I like that. The little he just put a link in there to an image of a
Mickey Mouse Death Star.
Mickey Mouse Death Star. That's very cute. But yeah, you know what? That's what they get to do, though. It's their property now.
No, I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing it. It makes total and complete sense from their business standpoint.
Yeah,
but
and
it just feels bad that there's been, 30, 40 years of there are 30 years. Is it 30 years now, Terry? Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's been 30 years, easily.
I met Alan Dean Foster. Sorry, forgot to tell you that.
Fucker.
No, she was not there, so yeah, he was a guest at Farpoint.
Oh, damn it.
And I got to tell you about the auction that happened.
God damn it!
They have a charity auction at Farpoint and Shore Leave every year for Children's Hospital. That's the official charity of the things. Somebody had made, when they heard that Melissa McBride was coming, a little zombie doll, and it was Zombie McBride. She was in a little bride's dress. So that was auctioned off, and they had a set of china that George Takei had signed, so that they auctioned that off. And those went for, there was, get this, a brunch with Melissa McBride, which went, they also auctioned off a car ride to the airport with Melissa McBride, so that when she was leaving, you drove in the car with her to the airport, and then you came back to the convention, which I thought was an extremely cool. Had I had more cash in my pocket, I would have bid on that one. I thought that was an extremely cool thing of her to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the highest auction thing went for over, I think it was like $725.
Nice.
It was a briefcase.
Okay.
It was a briefcase with nothing in it.
Okay.
It was a briefcase that used to be owned by Alan Dean Foster, who gave it to them to auction off. That he used to carry his manuscripts and stuff around in. It also had on it a sticker of the very first promotional item ever done for the Star Wars.
Oh, wow.
So these two guys got into a bidding war on it. People were running up and giving each guy money, cash, to keep the bidding going. I threw $5 into the winning bid.
That's the way a charity auction should be.
Yeah, there were two guys that were going back and forth, and once it hit about $400, it seemed to stall out, and they got to going twice, and then somebody came up and gave the other guy like cash, and he bid, and then it was like two sections of the room were going against each other, and like I said, I threw $5 in, and it was so much fun, and I even think that the guy that didn't win gave some money to the guy that won.
Yeah.
To keep it, but it was just fantastic. But yeah, it was right. Matthew Anderson says if that briefcase could talk, no kidding. I mean, but that sticker alone,
wow,
just having that
fun.
The Star Wars.
Yep, that's funny. I love it.
75. Yeah, I thought you'd. But and for those that don't know in our audience, for the Star Wars universe, the first novel to come out after Star Wars was a novel called Splinter of the Mind's Eye, written by Alan Dean Foster. And it was a Luke and Leia adventure, which had one of the great covers. I remember seeing it. We had a store called Caldor. I don't know if you have ever heard of that. There was like a chain, Caldor. There was Grant's, like Woolworths used to be. You know what I mean? And the cover is Darth Vader standing like on this pedestal, which is not doing it justice, in the woods, and his lightsabers, and Luke and Leia are there, and the Mind's Eye is this jewel, and it's shining on the ground, and it was an amazing cover. I'm sure Matthew Anderson will have it up by the time I get done describing it. But yeah, it was really cool. And I was, let's see, I was 17. I was like 8. I thought that was like the next movie. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. And then my father's like, no, it's just a book. I was like, oh, but I gotta get it. So like I read that, and of course Alan Dean Foster, he did a bunch of Star Trek with the episodes, didn't he, Terry? The books, like James Blish did?
Yeah, absolutely.
See,
that's cool. He'd been an integral part of the Star Trek lit world for a long time.
Oh, I remember Darth Vader having his lightsaber out on that. Wow. It just shows you what time and memory can do.
Yeah, that's cool, though.
Cooler than anything he did for the prequel movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, sorry to go on a Star Wars.
No, it's a great squirrel. I mean, if you're going to chase a squirrel, that was a fun one. Oh, it's neat. There's just so much that went on in the past couple of weeks that I know it was going to be kind of a crazy show for us because, it's just kind of, well, first off, catching up. It's been so long since I've talked to my two friends here. That,
we could have done the show last week, but to be honest with you, with Terry still being sick, and I know Mike's been really busy with a move and a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I just wanted to enjoy the convention, honestly. Yeah. Normally, I do the mornings from the convention, and I just wanted to be able to spend, especially Sunday morning, having breakfast with a friend that I had, who's very, very special to me, and I hadn't seen in months, and we were catching up, and then thank God, because we were dancing till 2 a.m. So.
And not the least of which is although I had been sick, I had also, started a new job, and it was just kind of a crazy, crazy time. But now things have settled back down. I'm feeling much, much better. I am very excited to kind of reconnect and feel like I'm getting a new start on things.
Thank you, Lem. That's right. Have you seen the Captain Kirk watches Miley Cyrus?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. My God. I was
very
laughing,
funny.
And then when the last couple of seconds happened, belly laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
The link in the show notes.
So does this mean you can start scheduling supplemental logs?
Yes, it does. It does mean that we get to start scheduling supplemental logs because I have been such a bad girl. Because I had been so sick, I would come home from work and I would just go to bed and I would sleep until I had to get up and go to work again. It was just a rough time. So now and it was my fault because I was just telling everybody, I can't do them. I can't do them. I'll cough through the whole damn thing. And it would not have been fair to our guests. So I know that we've put off Larry Nemechek. I know that we've put off the amazing writers for the Athena's.
Yeah.
The Athena books, which I can't wait to talk to them about because what an amazing project.
And now
I know that
Janine Spenlove and
First Time Trekker has agreed to talk with us. If you guys have not,
very cool.
I'm excited because she is somebody who on Twitter decided that she had watched an episode of Star Trek and realized, I think I might like this show. So she created a Twitter account and then started to watch Star Trek The Next Generation in order and live tweeted it. And she had never been a Star Trek fan before. And now we are happy to say that she's deep, deep, deep into it, just like the rest of us. And, so she's now finished Star Trek TNG and she started the original series. And this is her first viewing of Star Trek at all. And it's always really fun to watch her tweets and to and to talk to her. She's got a great sense of humor, and she has a foul mouth. So,
and Keith DeCanado wants to come back on. I think he said March because he's got something coming out. And I told Keith, I said, Keith, just let us know.
Swallow is waiting in the wings as well.
And Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, and some of the authors for supplementals that, like I said, I met at Farpoint, who one of them, Terry, Janine Spenlove, we started talking, and she does not write Star Trek, but she's got a series of several things. I kind of mentioned her to you in the email that I sent you. That's who and she is an active duty Marine C-130 pilot as well.
Oh, very cool.
And in talking to her, we were talking about, we've chewed some of the same dirt overseas, and she may well have flown me at one point in Anbar province in Iraq, which just blew both of our minds. And she is a hilarious woman and a talented author. And I got some authors that we don't necessarily know, but who write different styles as well. But my thought on this is, anytime we can get an author on to talk about their processes and how they broke in, it's only a win for us.
Right. Another person who has agreed to sit with us and talk with us, you guys may know him better as the Pumpkin Geek. His name is Alex Ware. Alex, although he's been an amazing carver for a long time and has been known in the geek world as the Pumpkin Geek, was just hired.
Wait a minute, the guy that does the pumpkins, you have? The pumpkins you have? Oh!
Yeah. He's just been hired as the national salesperson for Wizard World Cons.
Whoa.
Yeah. Nice gig. Huh? So Alex is going to join us on a future supplemental log too to talk about Wizard World and how they plan to expand and how they plan to bring people in from all sci-fi genres again and kind of expand Wizard World conventions. So I'm excited for him. I think that's a wonderful thing. Yeah, nice to be able to get a full-time job with a nice con like that, So we're happy for Alex.
Speaking of cons, Mike, I don't even know if I've told you. Terry, I'm not sure I told you. In talking, first of all, a shout out to Sci-Fi Podcast, Sci-Fi Diner Podcast, who I saw at Farpoint, live episode from the middle of the convention floor. Which
gotta love it.
Well, they also have the microphones with screens and a mixing board.
They have the stuff.
Yeah, they're like professional. But in talking with the Farpoint people, I will more than likely not only be attending next year as a media person, but will be on some panels for the G&T show.
Isn't that great?
Interesting. I don't quite understand what that means, but interesting.
I'll be sitting in the panels, like the podcasting panel or the Big Bang Theory panel or something like that, and I'll be there as a guest, not as a fan attending.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that neat? I'm very excited. So, again, if you guys have any questions for us, if you have any author or person of interest that you think you would love to have us interview, please let us know who they are. Huh?
Kelly Madding.
Yeah. Got an earful. It's not like we haven't invited her.
She's gotten she's also had, I told you.
That's what I'm saying.
She's had some things going on with her job and stuff.
Don't give me grief. So I'm saying she's always welcome.
She's
but
aware.
if you have any ideas of who you would like us to speak with, send us a note. Tell us who you want us to talk to. And you can send us a note at hosts@gntshow.com.
We'll try.
I know a poet named Naoma Vasilia.
We'll try to get her. It doesn't always work out because I've been trying to get a few people and can't track down contact
Naoma Vasilia happens to be a big fan of yours, so Oh, look, and she's in the room.
Yes, I'm a big fan of hers as well.
Yeah. She's probably asleep with the computer on at this point.
Mike, where can people follow you on Twitter?
Soridium STO, SORIDEMSTO.
Nick, what about you?
Gettysburg 7, that is the number 7, not the word 7. Gettysburg is in the town.
And I'm Terry Lynn S. That's TERILYNNS, and as in Sam, and you can follow me on Twitter there. Again, email at hosts@gntshow.com. If you have a question for Mr. Dayton Ward and would like to hear your question responded to on air, you can also send us the Ask Dayton question to hosts@gntshow.com, and we will be happy to forward it on to Mr. Ward after he is settled in the new Ward manor.
And speaking of which, we had a recent entry that I did forward on to Dayton, and for reasons I totally understand, he did push that one back and said it would probably be better for him not to answer it. It had to do with his opinion of productions like Axanar and Continues and Phase 2 and things like that. And so not because he doesn't want to answer it, but the position he's in, there's certain things that...
Yeah. That's tough.
It's probably wiser for him not to, just because he knows these people. And so, but it wasn't because it was a bad question. I thought it was a very interesting question.
Is he trying to hit them up for work?
No. I think it was just, I think it's more sensitive than that. Yeah, you don't. It's probably because he can't work for them. So.
Oh, look, she's awake.
There she is.
She's got bronchitis.
Feel better.
No.
Feel better, everybody. I know it's going to be. I know it was a kind of a getting our feet wet back kind of a show. So I'm thanking you for listening to us. Again, if you've got any questions, any concerns, anything you would like to have us cover, let us know. I still have a boatload of Voyager that I have watched that we have not yet spoken about, so we can talk about.
I just thought of something. We ended last season on the cliffhanger when you were like Mr. Ceridium Fire. We never mentioned it again. Oh, man, that's awesome.
That's so us.
That's writer's strike stuff going on right there.
Isn't it? Yeah, well, we just rebooted.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, God, no.
I came back as Benedict Cumberbatch. Well, oh, God, no, what, Mike?
The whole rebooted thing.
Oh.
Because I don't want to imagine a rebooted story. Come on. Oh, man.
And I'm going to say this on the air. Terry?
Yes?
My postcards that would have been great to have at Farpoint?
Yeah, they're still sitting on my desk. with Michael's posters from Star Trek Las Vegas, with his Bird of Prey, with his.
So they're like.
Brett, I have a huge pile of mail. I haven't mailed any here.
Brett, who's like poor Brett. He's still waiting on his books. I'm so sorry, Brett.
You two are fired.
I know. We're so bad. Never ever give me or Nick something to mail.
Apparently. So I guess I'll be handling all mail from this point forward.
Mike, I wish to fuck we could pay you.
You have no idea how much I wish we could pay you. It's serious. All right, you guys, that is it for this week's episode. You can join us next week. If all goes well, we'll be in a better... I can't believe it's already going to be March.
Have Alan send them out official mail.
Well, he can do... Well, he's... Whatever.
Corporation.
March for episode 132 next week.
And a delayed Happy Valentine's Day to you, dear.
Oh, and to everybody. And to everybody.
And to you, Lem. And Sensei all.
And to everybody, and to all of our listeners, thank you so much.
And even though he's not here, to you, Kush.
And a special thanks to Larry Nemechek for being so goddamn patient.
We love you, Larry. We really do.
All right. We'll see you next week, you guys. Bye-bye.
Blah.
Joel Untrue.
GNT Show is a Busy Little Beaver production.
Music for the GNT Show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5-Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.
Gonna take a 5-year tour. Boldly go where no man's gone before. Gonna travel to the end and make new friends. Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on my old man. Represent the human race. React.